Fame isn't a forever thing. Stars come and go, shine bright, and fade away. But for some celebrities, they love their fame so much that they'll do anything to keep it. These celebrities are desperate to hang on to whatever A-list powers that they have left, almost like they're addicted to the rush of being famous. There are a few celebrities like this out there, so let's talk about them as we count down the top 10 celebrities who are addicted to fame. At number 10, Lindsay Lohan. Yet another former child star who is addicted to fame is none other than Lindsay Lohan. Lindsay grew up in the spotlight, so really she doesn't know anything else, and the fact that she's not as relevant as she once was has caused her to want to hold on to that fame as much as she can. When she started off in Hollywood, she was a model and actress making hit film after hit film. From The Parent Trap to Freaky Friday to Mean Girls, Lindsay was crushing it in Hollywood until about 2006. After that, things started going downhill. Soon the only headlines that she was making had to do with her substance abuse and DUIs, but for her, any publicity was good publicity because it kept people talking, and that's what she lived for. Now that she's cleaned herself up a bit, not many people are talking about Lindsay anymore, and that seems to be a problem. From time to time, the actress would make headlines for something shocking like trying to kidnap refugee children and claiming to have been racially profiled at an airport, and these things would get people talking once again, though it isn't always positive. This fame addiction makes you do crazy things to keep you in the spotlight. At number 9, Sahar Tabar. Internet celebrity Sahar Tabar fooled the internet into thinking that she had a botched appearance because she wanted to look like Angelina Jolie. What people didn't know is that her appearance was digitally altered to get that shocking look that she was known for. It all started with one post that shocked the internet, and from that point she continued posting more and more shocking images of her zombie Angelina look. The more her posts circulated on the internet and went viral, the more she fed into this character that she created for herself. Everything was built off a lie, but that didn't matter to her because she became famous and addicted to that fame. She was eventually arrested for what she was posting online and went to jail for it, so that just shows how this fame addiction can go horribly wrong. Sometimes fame can bring out the worst in people. Now before I carry on with the list, I would like to ask you guys to consider leaving a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, because it really helps to support the channel. At number 8, Madonna. Madonna has been around for a while now, and somehow she's been able to hold on to that fame. I'm not saying somehow as in she's not talented enough to stay relevant, but I mean it in the sense that so many celebrities have faded into obscurity in the time that she's been around. Why is that? Well, some people say that she has an addiction to fame. Madonna rose to fame in the 80s and 90s, and since then she's evolved quite a bit. Her music isn't necessarily the same as it once was, but that's a good thing for someone like her. A lot of the time, musical artists will stay within their specific sound, and though it's great for those first starting out and climbing the charts, it's not so great when that specific sound or image isn't trendy anymore. For the most part, Madonna has been able to adapt to our ever-evolving trends, and when all else fails, you cause a scandal like when she kissed Britney Spears at the VMAs back in the day. Madonna knows how to finesse to keep herself afloat in Hollywood, and that's good for her. At number 7, Trisha Paytas. YouTuber Trisha Paytas is one celebrity who refuses to be anything but famous. They've been an internet personality since the very conception of YouTube and really hasn't looked back since. They're one of the richest YouTubers on the platform, as was exposed in a recent story from BuzzFeed, but with all of that success comes the backlash that they've faced, and even though it's been ugly at times, there still doesn't seem to be any signs of stopping for them. When you look back at all the controversies and scandals Trisha has been part of, in the past Trisha has been infused with the Vlog Squad, Gabby Hanna, the D'Amelios, Ethan Klein, and so many more creators. On top of that, Trisha has faced backlash for disrespecting the DID community, and the trans community has also been hurt by Trisha's remarks as well. Even through all the drama, Trisha still comes out and continues being online as though nothing happened, and many believe that it's because of their addiction to fame. In the past, Trisha has said that throughout her 20s, they tried to be on as many shows as possible looking for fame, so we know that this is something that attracts Trisha. They may never leave the platform, but they're probably more than okay with that. At number 6, Jake Paul. I think we're all familiar with how bold Jake Paul can be. He's pretty unapologetic when it comes to his actions, and he does some pretty wild things. Recently, he's begun a boxing career, and he talks a lot of smack when leading up to a fight. In the past, he's trolled his opponents online and has made public remarks about those he's looking to fight, and he's ruffled quite a few feathers online. This could be enough of an argument to say that he likes attention, but also take into consideration the fact that he also grew up into fame, starting out on Vine back in the day, and later bridging over to the Disney Channel where he gained a following from acting. He's racked up a number of supporters, and it seems like this fame has gone to his head, as former professional boxer Mike Tyson has even commented on Jake's quote, ego addiction. In an interview, Tyson said, quote, "There's something wrong with him," end quote. He's also commented on how different Jake is from other boxers because he cares more about the notoriety than the money that comes with these matches. So I think it's confirmed. Jake Paul is addicted to fame and everyone knows it. At number 5, Chrissy Teigen. In recent weeks, Chrissy Teigen has been facing backlash ever since she was exposed for having cyberbullied Kourtney Stodden back in the day. Leaked DMs and past tweets exposed how mean Chrissy was to Kourtney, and as a result, Chrissy was cancelled. But since then, it seems as though Chrissy has been feeding off this bad publicity to keep her name in the media, or so people think. For the past few weeks, Chrissy has been riding the cancellation train, commenting on how unfair it is that she's facing the unrelenting wrath of the internet for some time now because of her drama with Kourtney, and some people have started to catch on to the fact that every time she complains about how people aren't really the biggest fan of her right now, it makes a headline. Just recently, Kourtney Stodden commented on the situation with Chrissy saying, quote, "I think that continuing to gripe about cancel club or whatever that is, I think step out, take your part, and maybe do something with charities," end quote. This was in response to the fact that Chrissy keeps on, quote, "looking for sympathy because of her cancelled status." It looks like Chrissy is feeding off her cancellation to maintain her fame, in a way which is a little backwards, but seems to be working in its own bizarre way. At number 4, James Charles. You would think that after having the internet cancel you so many times that you would just take the L and leave, but not YouTuber James Charles, which has led to people believing that he's just in it for the fame. Over his time online, James has landed himself in a number of pretty serious scandals. There was a whole Bi-Sister scandal of 2019 that saw the YouTuber lose millions of followers overnight. There's been the numerous allegations of misconduct against James, and with his recent slew of misconduct allegations, he's lost his hugely successful collaboration with Morphe Cosmetics, and his YouTube channel faced demonetization as well. After all the hits James has taken over the last few years, with all of the backlash he's faced and everything he's lost, how is he still around? Well, people think that he's just too addicted to the rush that comes with internet fame to step back now. For a lot of people, bad publicity is still good publicity, even if it taints your reputation, because at least people are still talking about you. James still has a pretty big fan base, but he loses thousands of supporters with every scandal he's in. Do you think there will ever come a time where James throws in the towel, or do you think he's in too deep? At number 3, Charli and Dixie D'Amelio. Charli and Dixie D'Amelio are some of the biggest influencers on TikTok, and they seem to be absolutely obsessed with their own fame. They're teenagers who grew up on the internet and have been exposed to fame at a young age, making it so that their growing follower count gives them some sort of rush. This is at least what psychologists believe when it comes to young people online, saying that this fame addiction is going to greatly affect kids in the future. They say that because these kids are so addicted to fame at such a young age, that in the long run they won't have a solid grip on reality when they enter deeper into adulthood, and that could prove troublesome. So not only are these guys addicted, but they're melting their brains at the same time, more or less. At number 2, Joe Exotic. After rising to fame with the release of the Tiger King documentary, Joe Exotic has been basking in his newfound notoriety, even from behind bars. Even though Joe was the talk of the town for a couple months back in 2020, Joe has been trying to hold on to whatever fame he has left and is trying to use that to get himself out of prison. Joe was sentenced to a life behind bars after plotting to end the life of his rival Carole Baskin and also animal endangerment. But after all that, Joe still tried to reach out to his fans, sending messages to them from in prison and even giving interviews from behind bars. We know from the documentary that Joe had always been searching for fame. He put himself out there with his music career, his web series, and even the fact that he tried to get picked up for a reality show. So finally, when his time in the spotlight came, Joe just didn't want to let it go. No one is really talking about the Tiger King anymore other than Joe himself, showing us that once he got a taste for fame, he got hooked and is not letting go. And finally, at number 1, Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian is one of the most famous people in the world. She went from being Paris Hilton's assistant to being a billionaire celebrity/influencer. You can always catch Kim on social media, making waves in the news, and everyone wanted to keep up with the Kardashians at one point. But there's a dark side to all this that Kanye West revealed in an interview where he commented on how Kim is addicted to fame. When he brought up the idea that Kim was a little too caught up in her own fame, Kim in response said, quote, "I do agree that fame can be addictive, and it took me a long time to recognize how lost you can become when you put too much focus on it. People often ask me, money or fame. My focus has always been on success, and with success comes money," end quote. Kim also went on to say that at the beginning of her career she felt more strongly about fame, saying that back then she equated fame with success, but she claims to have a very different view on things now, being more focused on money than social status. Now before I wrap up the video, I want you guys to tell me if you would ever want to be famous. It seems like a lot of work to maintain a specific public image, like a lot of celebrities do, so would you try it out, or do you want to stay living your normal life? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Anyways, that's it for today. I've been your host, B-Room, and until next time, stay safe, make good choices, and stay goofy, friends. Bye! They may never leave the platform, but they This could be enough of an argument to also take into consideration the fact that he also grew up into